Hello, my friends. Are you with me? I hope you are. You know who is with me today? Lionel Nation. Lionel Nation. I am so thrilled. I am so excited. Thank you for taking
Technically,
the time to be with
technically
us
just
today.
Lionel, technically just Lionel of the nation. But yeah, listen,
Lionel
I
of the
told
you
you,
will always be Lionel Nation to
I
me.
know, but I told you, I said, I didn't say I discovered you, but you notice how I said, what's this?
Yeah.
What's,
You know what? I'm going to play that clip. I
oh,
have the clip that introduced me to you because people were going, I was brand new to this whole thing. Let's see. Doug, it's not going. It's not playing. I hit it. Doug, he's working on it.
there is no Doug.
Now,
There is,
if
he
you
doesn't
ever,
exist.
he's like this.
There we go. I hope you've been watching Christine Feckety too. She's been just cheer. I mean, just when I thought I'd say, okay, everything's been said about Erica. Oh no. Oh, not even close. I'm sorry, I'm throwing a lot of stuff. My head's going crazy today. I'm seeing something right now. I am watching this.
Oh, where did it, Doug? It's not working.
Sometimes I go into paralysis like that. I hope you've been watching Christine Feckety too. She's been just cheer. I mean, just when I thought I'd say, okay, everything's been said about Erica. Oh no. Oh, not even close. I'm sorry, I'm throwing a lot of stuff. My head's going crazy today. I'm seeing something right now. I am watching this.
You guys, I am so sorry. I don't know what just happened. We are still working out the technical.
Listen, that's the best
difficulties,
part about
but
this. That's the
hey.
best part. It's like when you make a pancake.
Watching.
Okay, here we go. I hope you've been
Oh,
watching.
we're done.
Let
We're
me just
done
give you the
with
whole
that.
version of it. Yeah.
Okay. I tried.
Don't worry about it.
Alrighty. Well, I was just watching Sean Ryan and just the first bit because you guys know it dropped today. It dropped
4
Sean
hours
Ryan, Candace,
and 44
yes.
minutes. 4:44. Hello.
And he was basically like, here's Candace. Here's Candace. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's Lionel. You know him. You probably followed him before you followed me. So, thank you for being with us live from New York, from Tampa. Wow, 100 degrees from Tampa, Florida, originally.
Yep.
And in oh, thank you for that. No, and in the House of Cards, chapter 50 in the House of Cards. Make a
you're not going
to
read that stuff. There's nothing really good about that.
I read it all. I read it all. What I want to know, Mr. Lionel, is what in this whole Erica Kirk turning point situation that we've been in, that we're both, neck deep in at this point. What has surprised you? Was there an impression you had in the beginning, a presupposition, anything where you were like, whoa, I was off about that?
No. No. First, let me just say this initially. I mean, if I could. By the way, I don't want to be a director. Can we get closer like we were at the beginning? I just feel like we're
oh, yes.
I like how we were a little closer. Doug!
Yeah. Doug!
Come on, Doug. There we go. We're just yelling. He's there.
He's usually sitting right in front of me. And I don't know if a soccer game is on or what, but I didn't know he was not going to be in this room. So
that's one thing I don't get. Oh, by the way, as we speak, right down the street at Madison Square Garden, they're getting ready for the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, not Kelsey, but Kelce.
They are,
which I think is an abomination.
You know,
And
it's so funny. I normally would say, and I could care less, but I saw you talk about this the other day about how we should at least have an interest in, pop culture, what's going on, be
yeah.
open for learning. That's what I picked up. That's what I heard you say. What's your take on it?
Well, you have to know. You just have to know it's there. You don't have to spend a lot of time. Just say to somebody. Remember, this is before your time, but on Johnny Carson years ago, Tiny Tim married Miss Vicky. That was the biggest thing
Mm,
anybody's ever seen. Remember, Tiptoe to the Tulips and all. Anyway, it was
of
this. It was
course.
this. What is it? Herbert Corey was his name. Nobody knew. He was. By the way, he was a very big star in the '60s downtown and the village. And anyway, he married her. That was kind of a performative marriage. Also, at the Garden, there was a year when all of the Moonies got married, where they did these arranged marriages. Did you know somebody years later said, "I wonder if they're still together," and like all of them were, meaning
Yeah.
that randomness
Yeah.
is just as good.
Yeah.
It's just as good
If
as
you're determined, we had neighbors that were Moonies and who were married in a mass ceremony, and they were great. I think there's something about just deciding you're going to do it, you know?
arranged marriages. So anyway, so that's kind of an interesting thing. I'm in love with pardon me, with the Caitlin Clark, this debacle, this is, I wouldn't care less. I could not care less about normally sports or basketball, but WNBA, I would go see her. She's a phenom, and basically these thugs are coming after her, and it's racist. It's fantastic. She is the only reason anybody cares about WNBA, and they want to kill her.
I know nothing of this, my friend. I know nothing of this.
So let me just tell you
I don't
something.
know.
WNBA, nobody cared
Please.
about it. It was basically a lesbian league. A lot of people thought, and there was one person. You can ask Doug, but you could. We just yelled Doug, like pull.
That's
Like
all.
we're at
I need a
like we're at
button,
some kind of a
like Trump's Diet Coke button. I need a Doug
right.
button. That's what I need.
So nobody cared about this. Lisa Leslie was the only WNBA women's basketball. Anyway, so here comes Caitlin Clark. She can shoot like Steph Curry. She's not human. She hits shots nobody hits. And a lot of the black, and it is a black white thing. A lot of these black women, basically, they're acting thuggish, and so people are saying you can't say that. That's racist. Ask Doug about Bill Lambier years ago from the Pistons. This guy was this thug. He was a kind of a preppy guy who was a killer. So anyway, they're going crazy. So here's Caitlin Clark, this white girl, and everybody is coming out. LeBron James, Shaq O'Neal, Shaquille O'Neal. Everybody says you're killing the golden goose. Anyway, so that's there. So it's sex, it's gender, it's race. That's a great story. It's one of those.
I have to
those
look into it.
stories.
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, just watch it. It's very easy. They basically tried to choke her to death on TV.
Oh
So
my
that's
god.
interesting.
There is a meme or something going around of a white woman basketball player, like
Yeah.
long hair. Does she have like long hair? And she's like
the
pointing.
That's
Yeah.
no,
What is
that's
she pointing at?
no, that's the other one. That is
Oh,
her compatriot. That's another one. Anyway, not to
okay.
belabor the point. That's a very, very interesting thing that's going on. But you mentioned Erica. Has Erica ever said anything that has not been fact checked, where you find at least 12 things wrong that are just insignificant? Like, no, it wasn't Tuesday, it was Wednesday. No, your daughter's name is not. It's not Gigi.
Yeah.
And by the way, is there another
Yeah.
kid? There's Gigi. Who's the other kid? You ever hear about the other kid? Maybe
Mac.
we shouldn't. But it's like, okay, I have no
Mac
idea.
or Max. And nobody, I had never heard his name. Now, granted, it was at the memorial where Stacy Sheridan mentioned his name. And I was like, whoa. And I think I said it was Max, and somebody came back and said it was Mac. But you see the M on her rings, and you always hear her talk about Gigi. Always
I
Gigi.
know.
She doesn't
I know.
mention the baby boy. She doesn't at all. And I don't know
I
what that's about.
I have
Maybe she
no.
has the brain space for one.
By the way, there was a joke which I can't recall. Anyway, but it's an ethnic joke. You know what it's here. Anyway, but that means it's funny. But there's something which is very interesting also about this. There is we can't figure out what's her story. I don't believe she had anything to do with Charlie's death at all. Period. I don't think she's smart enough. I don't think she knows anything. I think she's a dupe. I don't think she said, "Yeah, now's my chance." No, I don't think so. It could be, but there's no evidence of it. And when I say there's no evidence, doesn't mean I wasn't suspicious. But I'm a lawyer. I'm a prosecutor by profession. And if there's no evidence, there's just none.
Yeah.
But I've never known, I think maybe you have, somebody who was a prolific liar like she is. She lies like Lindbergh flu. She's prosaic. She has a pseudologia fantastica, mythomania, pathological liar. She makes up stories and narratives on the spot that are like she's, you know what it is? She's like doing an improv class by herself. She's Second City by herself. She's okay. In this scene, I'm a hip young woman, and I mean this is an improv.
Yeah.
She becomes that.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
It's really fascinating, isn't it? Like I just posted something where you've got Frank Turek saying that he didn't die until the hospital. And then you've got the vice president saying that he had good reports from the hospital. He's talking to Jesse Waters, who confirms, yeah, there were good reports from the hospital. And then she's on Jesse Waters after Vance and Frank Turek have already made their statements public, and says he died on the scene.
Yeah, right.
He didn't suffer. And I'm like, and so there's a certain point where I'm with you in that her best alibi is that she's stupid.
Right. No,
I
think
she's dumb. Right. And I don't say that of people. I don't say that easily or lightly. The fact that she claims to be magna and summa cum laude, those she couldn't even keep straight.
Right.
It makes it fair game, I think. What dumbfounds me, Lionel, and as a writer, I wonder if you must pick this up. She cannot get through. Well, if she finishes a sentence, which is ironic because I just did that, but her word structure, she will get the most basic. Like, I believe he was nothing less than fabulous of a man. That wasn't the adjective she used, but she will, and not just using like I instead of me, or I don't know. It's hard to, maybe now that I mentioned it, like but it's just dumbfounding to me. Just the most basic sentences, like using now I can't even do it. Just the most proper.
How long has this been happening? This lapse of memory on your part.
Doug
called me. We're very concerned about this. We're having an intervention.
Are you going to ask me about the COVID vaccine?
There was a great line one time. Somebody said, I went to something the other day called an intervention, or as I call it, a surprise party. I always have these ideas. By the way, true story. I'm always thinking that I'm in the beginning stage of some kind of really fast, aggressive form of dementia, because I will just forget names but I'll remember the most ridiculously stupid thing. True story. My friend told me it's a true story. Okay, and he has no sense of humor. None. If he told me, I believe it. He was suspecting that maybe his mother might have been a little out of it. So he took her to the doctor, and she was very offended. He goes, "How dare you?" He goes, "Mom, I'm just worried." "Oh, okay, I'll go with you, but how dare you, you ingrate, you bastard." Anyway, so they went to this nurse, and the nurse says, "Now, Mrs. Infectity, I'm going to ask you some questions. Very, very simple. Starting with the months of the year backwards, starting with December. The months of the year backwards." So she said, "Wow." And he goes, "Mom, come on." He goes, "No, I'll do it. Wait. So she said, Rebmessid, Rebemovin, and he's
Oh,
looking at her. He says, "What are you? What is this Klingon for?" He goes, "No, no, I'm a March. That's a Hakram." He didn't understand it. And the nurse said,
that's
"You're fine."
hysterical.
Yeah, I know. And what's so interesting about this, it's almost like that Steve Martin, the jerk. He said, "Boy, these field sobriety tests are tough." So I'm always thinking, and when you do this, see what people don't understand, and you know this. You'll start off, first of all, you're sitting in your home talking to a little computer and you're imagining people there. And you've always got to be up and you got to kind of remember things. And sometimes you'll be there and there's all this, and you'll look at names and you get a troll or you get somebody who's like, "Is this on? I can't hear you. What? Can you make it louder?" There's always somebody who's, can you make it louder? I can't hear you. What? And it's like, "Can you hear?" And you got this, plus you were going to go gangbusters with this thought, which completely dematerialized.
Yes, that happens to me so much. Yeah, well, because I've got, 3 little dogs, across the room, and,
You're
the air
yelling at
conditioning will
Doug.
kick on. Oh, yeah, I'm like, "Doug."
Everybody else.
And if somebody comes to the door, the dogs will bark, and it's just kinda like, "Welcome to my life. Welcome to my home.
See, I love that.
Welcome to my home."
You've got Sean, you've got Candace, you got like 35 people. I got me. That's it. That's
But,
it.
that's all we got. But you're amazing, and you said something the other day where you said, "It takes a lot of guts to make a damn fool out of yourself."
Right. I learned a long
Isn't
time
that
ago.
it?
I learned a long time ago. I have no shame. Meaning, I mean, I don't want to do. I'm not embarrassed. When I was a kid, I was a bad stutterer, and they said, and I said, "It's funny. I kind of work around it, but it wasn't. I didn't really care what anybody said. It's like it should have been, disastrous. But I realized I don't care. It's like I'm a positive psychopath. I have no there's no empathy. I have no care. I don't care what you think. I mean, if you think it's
That's
funny,
so really, even as a child, like that never fazed you, getting picked
no,
on
I'm
for
thinking,
stuttering.
okay, I
That
mean,
wow.
it shouldn't affect you. I should be worried about it, not you. I'm not exactly a conductor on the Long Island Railroad, confusing people with my maundering banter. Don't worry about it. It's just,
That's so
and then
funny.
they just, so I really don't care. It doesn't really matter. None of it matters.
That's
And
well,
what I've been
Candace was
doing,
talking about that with Sean, she's like, she was getting her confirmation, done, getting her confirmation done in Italy. People were blowing up her phone about Trump putting her picture when she was sick on like a fake Time magazine cover. And she's like, no, I'm at a different place, spiritually, I'm in this zone. And I'm not letting that into my world. And then she got home and she dealt with it,
well, but she
called him
also,
out, which was good.
what you do is you absorb it. Like if somebody's throwing a baseball at you and you catch it like this, you kind of slow it down. Like she said, "Yeah, oh, I remember that picture. Right. It was it was a luxury apartment and they had mold. And see that one picture there? Yeah. Well, I was really sick then." And she's talking about it like there's no, yeah, that happened to me. It's like it was an accident. Yeah. In fact, I've got another picture that's worse. Look at this one. So she deflected all of the, out of, and I always think I always ask myself, is she I don't know what it sounds very strange. In every walk of life, somebody's gender and race always come into it. Well, it's a black woman, it's a white woman, it's a woman. I think of her, and this sounds so weird, as genderless, sexless. That makes no sense. I'm redundant. A raceless, just Candace. She's just, you know what I mean? She never talks on behalf of anything. Whatever. And sometimes somebody says, as a black woman, I say, you're right. Because it never comes up. It's not, she doesn't speak. I never think about people. It's weird. She is the prototype. She is the antithetical just person. She doesn't bullshit anybody. She doesn't embellish anything. She just talks about her
Right.
story, and that's it. And if you leave her alone, she won't come after you. If you
Somebody just said,
do,
yeah. Yeah. Well, Sean said, I don't want to piss you off. He exhibited that kind of fear. Somebody just said badass has no race or gender. I think that's so
yeah,
true. And we are souls in human bodies, these infinite beings in these very
not really.
finite bodies. And so we get limited to being labeled a woman, or like you said, a black woman or a white woman, or an old woman, or what have you. I don't think I've ever heard you say so straight up that Erica, who is has nothing to do with this, but also just to
No.
cover this point,
Sure.
she
Mhm.
is the opposite, the the black and white of it.
Yeah.
Funny. Sometimes I amuse myself of the way they handle criticism, the way Candace handles criticism
Oh yeah.
versus the way Erica. I've never thought about that so plainly. Just Candace doesn't have to do her own little video and do a little wine session. She owns it. She's like, yeah, that was part of my
But she
life.
also,
She put it out there first.
that never. Her stories are never. You never catch her. It's like, wait a minute. You didn't go to Budapest for your confirmation. You went to Rome. You never.
Yeah.
Most people, they tell the story. I got to tell you something. As a prosecutor, it's the weirdest thing when you talk to somebody, you say, "What happened?" Because when you take a case, you want to take it to trial. When you were robbed, what happened? It was a Tuesday. It was raining. This one guy says, "I'll never forget. I knew something was wrong because I walked into the shop and somebody left the coffee machine on." I said, "Damn it!" And I walked in and there he was. And then a year later, I said, I know this may sound strange, but can we go over this case? Do you remember it? There it was.
Yeah.
I walked in, the smell of coffee, and people remember. Put it this way. My wife, who works with a lot of with human trafficking, I remember one time I was listening to some experts talk about it, and they were talking about some events. And they said, you have to be very careful. You may talk to somebody, you may have a man's got to realize within distance, a cologne may trigger something, the time of day, the number of people in a room. And triggering is memory, is this indelible memory. That's what triggers.
Yeah.
That's what PTSD is, this indelible memory. Erica has the opposite of that. She forgets her story. She's a fabulist. Her stories change because they never happened. So because if sometimes people will remember not what happened, but what they said happened. So you remember the story as you told it. She's incredible. One little thing she said one time, she says, and she's getting into it. So here we go. And it's like, bullshit alert. Here we go. Watch it. She does this smile. She says, and I took Gigi and the other guy, the other kid. Anyway, I took him to the TPUSA, and it was so great because they played, and I would take him.
Yeah.
I took Gigi from Ballarat. Okay, that's number one. Cut number two, and I walked in and I said, "Can I have all your names so that I know your names so I can put it?" I say, "Did you not remember how you said you can walk into this job immediately because you knew everybody?" And then Candace brought up one time, "No, you brought the Charlie's office was not over here; it was over there." Things that why did you do that? You didn't have to do that. You didn't.
Yeah.
The embellishment meant nothing.
No. And she keeps talking. She keeps talking. I'm like, just stop talking. Like, and that's so what I mean, I should be like, keep talking. Keep talking. So all the contradictions, that doesn't make you suspect of her at all. Like,
oh, not that she did anything. I just think she's a fabulist, and I think she's no. For her to sit, listen, this is a part I don't understand. None of this makes any sense to me. And I know normally things are pretty simple. First of all, why did we even need Tyler in the first place? Why did we just say, listen, just do me a favor. Just go for the exploding microphone, whatever it is, and lose this guy. Don't layer it. All of a sudden, bang. Okay, good. That's easier as opposed to now we're going to stop because this guy should have been eliminated pursuant to the script. Now I got to deal with him and Luna and Junebug or whatever this fuzzy trans lesbian. But this now I've got the gun that doesn't fire. And oh, who thought of this? Just eliminate him. Stick with the microphone. That's even better because the medical examiner is going to go over there and say, I didn't find any weapons. I didn't or any. I found who knows what I found. We don't even know what they found. The whole thing is stupid. The whole thing is just. And when people are saying, it's probably Israel. If I were to say, BB, tell me that's not you. You didn't have to do it. Why would you do? What do you've got enough? And this really probably goes against the grain. Everybody in their mother was against you. Do you really think Charlie Kirk pushed you over the limit? You've got warrants. You've got internet. You can't go across the street without some Interpol warrant. And you think that the real problem you had was having to off him. If you thought that, you're demented. Maybe it's part of it. And plus, why do this at all? Another thing I want to tell people is, if you want to have suspects, because certainly they're a suspect because they could have benefited qui bono qui prodest, as we say. But one of the people who never looked at are the people from TPUSA who were looking at that Doge,
oh yeah.
thing that would have
the
really
audit,
benefited.
The audit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which also makes no sense because you're going to shut it down. This was your golden goose. Why did you get rid of it? You can't exist without him. So I don't even understand that. I don't understand. Here's another one. What if somebody said, listen, I'm going to make it look like it's Israel. Maybe it's somebody else. Because, they're into that exploding beeper stuff. This is right up their alley. Remember when BB said, hey, it's not me. I say, why was he doing that so quickly? Because he said, it's not me. I know what you're thinking. We didn't do that. I don't know about that. We're great with the beepers. So could it be? Because I always think, okay, you want to go conspiracy? You want to deep dive? Let's go a little deeper. Let's go. I love false flags. I love the agent provocateur. I like somebody who brings it on or who says, see, it wasn't really Christine who's affected. It was Doug. See, I was going after Doug, but I'm going to set the bait with you. So who knows? We don't have any information. The case hasn't even had a preliminary hearing yet. We don't know anything. But
yeah, do you see any connection to how Charlie was the gatekeeper when it came to the war starting? That he had talked, he was the only one who talked Donald Trump out of it before. And he was an obstacle. He was a huge obstacle. And so, and all BB has wanted in life for the last 47 years, like it has just been about getting Iran out of the way, expanding their territory. But, and they had Trump in there, who was rubber stamping and everything. But Charlie was like, no, talking him out of it, talked him out of it.
I understand that. But still to sit there and say, let's go. And it's not, listen, you think somebody said, hey, listen, can you got any Epstein files? Anything? You got any tall people in the distance? Maybe we can do an AI kind of. Is there something else we can do? Or if you really want to just have somebody go away, just do it the old-fashioned way. Just nothing really great. Same thing with Epstein. Why did you have to wait till he showed up at Teterboro Airport? You took him to a federal detention, and then you did it? You could have wasted him on the Champs-Élysées, or nobody would have even known about it. Why are you going through all this difficult stuff? I don't understand. I don't understand it. I think if Israel and Mossad is as smart as they think it is, they don't necessarily go out of their way to complicate things just for the pizzazz of it. I don't know. Listen, here's my problem. Are these people smart or stupid? What I would say is, listen, babe, you've got enough problems. In the scheme of things, take him out of it. You make him a martyr. You idiot!
Yeah.
What are you
Yeah.
doing? No,
All right.
dismiss them.
Speaking of left turns here, somebody just said that Victor Marks, real George Farmer, Victor Marks won the primary. Is that right? Is that true?
Doug. No, hang on a minute. Let's see.
Doug, can you Google
Doug
that?
says, I'm
Like,
watching
are you
Croatia in
kidding
the
me?
quarterfinals here. Okay, Victor
Please
Marks
tell me. Victor
and
Marks,
his
did he win the
Victor's
primary?
bride.
I watched the debate with the two other. The woman was sharp.
I've got
The
in a
woman-
razor thin. Victor Marks holds on to the lead against Barb Kirkmeyer for the GOP governor nomination. This is what I'm looking. He takes the lead over her. So I don't think he's won anything yet.
Like in the polls, like the election hasn't been. I mean, we haven't had.
No, I'm looking at Colorado
Doug,
politics.
I can't hear you. God.
Victor Marks overtakes Barbara Kirkmeyer as late ballots flip Colorado Republican governor contest. So
he won the nomination.
He's leading in the nomination.
He's leading, yeah.
Leading in the polls. No, did they vote?
The winner of the Republican primary. The winner of the Republican primary will advance to face Democrat Phil Weiser, the state's current attorney general.
I know, but they have to vote for the primary. Yeah, when did they start voting for the primary? Doug and I have no problem arguing in front of you guys.
Victor, that's a sign of a healthy marriage.
So he's
Victor Marks.
He said he's up by, but did he win?
No. Victor Marks overtook State Senator Barbara Kirkmeyer in the Republican primary for governor on Wednesday evening. That is last eve. Kirkmeyer, one of three candidates, opened the night with a clear advantage. So by Thursday morning, Marks was leading Kirkmeyer by 2,181, with less than 1 percentage point separating them. So that might be what, an automatic runoff or a recount. So we'll see.
Oh, so there was an actual vote.
Yeah.
For the primary. Okay, correct. I didn't. You know, Lionel, the last time you and I were together like this, the quote unquote attempted assassination happened at the correspondence dinner. So yes, I'm waiting. Something significant is going to happen in our time together. I just know.
Do you remember that? That's right. Because I said, hey, something happened or something is.
Yeah, there was a clip I wanted to show Lionel because we went viral. You and I in this little clip I did where you're telling me, and I'm kind of sitting back, right? And I'm taking it in because you said, you know, they just, you know, rushed Erica out. And I pointed out when I posted this video, take note that I didn't like revel in her stress or anything. But you were like, almost like, Chris, did you hear me? Did you hear me? And I was like, okay. And so in this video, I do the Eminem's theme from 8 Mile, where it's dun 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 dun, like, and so, and then I come in and I said, so you're telling me she's going to make this about her, you know? And
well,
yeah. So that clip went. I mean, it's maybe at least 1.5 million views right now. So. It's fun. It's you and me, kid. You and me. Yeah.
You know, what's also interesting about that whole thing was that she was the one who said, I just want to go home. And I'm thinking, how do you leave a crime scene? I mean, everybody else is. This one guy, I think I know him. He was in the front. He goes, can I have your salad? They were but nobody cared. Are you going to eat that roll? Can I have that roll?
And then she's out in the parking lot. Then she's just standing in the parking lot with Patel and her Win guy, you know, the hotel air guy. Did you follow that story at all about the, you know, Project Constitution came out with this story, you know, this witness that was actually a hearsay witness, like a friend who was supposedly at the Beverly Hills Hotel, I think it was, saw Erica and Win I'm blanking on his first name right now, having drinks together, and they were flirty and touchy.
This
and
isn't
that they were
Steve
like,
Wynn. This isn't the owner, the older
no,
man. The son or
it's the
the
nephew. It's
nephew.
the
Okay.
nephew. And I'm going, I spent 3 days like intensely like debunking this thing. And because no.
Did you?
Blake Wynn.
Okay.
Blake
Okay.
Wynn, says Doug.
Do you remember when this thing happened? Just
Hi, Monica.
Normally there's this. Remember it's just terrible. Robert F. Kennedy, the Ambassador Hotel, or even George Wallace, and there was this screaming, and thank God nobody was hurt, or I think there was one Secret Service agent who might have been shot by another Secret Service agent, friendly fire. But anyway, nobody was concerned. Kash Patel, who kept his eye on it the whole night, he was there trying to get an Uber. You getting cell reception? Can I get
no?
He was the head of the FBI, and he's sitting there like a jadrul, just waiting. Another guy is saying, "Do you want your? Can I have your dessert?" And there were other people were taking the wine. There were people under the table laughing.
Yes.
And nobody took his. Trump's backstage. Melania had to slide under. They didn't even get her. She just slid under the table. They grabbed Vance, and Trump's like this. What the hell's going on? Remember, the 9 guys came out to grab Vance, and and he broke through, ran. Anyway, what's the guy's name?
In one of those videos, yeah. He looked like the Flash at one point. Yeah. Like it looked surreal. It was like whoosh, like the Flash.
But it just went away. So here's the thing I was going to bring up, the most important part. Let's say our side and their side, for lack of a better word. The Candace side and the other side. The other side, without going through the list, and frankly, sometimes they're so unimportant.
It's not worth mentioning.
I don't even know their names. Sometimes I was, that guy. But they don't say anything. On our side, we've got Barron and you and Colin and this and Fredo and Cassius, you're breaking things down and this and this. And we got the receipts. I got the receipts. Here she is. Here's an aerial picture up from the drone shot of the. And these other people say she's just demonic. That's all they have. And then there's this new guy whose name I'm not going to mention, who fancies himself as this debater hired by TPUSA to teach them how to debate. And I'm thinking to myself, what is with you in this debate thing? Are you the debater? How about teach them how to tell the truth? Forget the debating. Just tell us what happened. And they don't ever say anything. Everything they've said about Candace is that she's been a psychopath, she's demonic, she's satanic. They even talked about body language. You could tell, obviously, Sean Ryan is not believing. Sean Ryan, I'm sorry, I've never met that guy. I'm sure he's a great guy. He's a bit of a stiff. He's not exactly a Rip Taylor. You know what I mean? He's like, he's not effusive.
He's no Lionel. He is no Lionel.
Well,
there's only one you, baby.
Or he's no Doug either. And then who is?
He's a little bit of a Doug. He's a little bit of a Doug.
But the thing is, this is the best they have. And then they must, you do know that whenever you watch something, especially when it comes to a national stuff, I think Sinclair one time, they all said the same thing. Like, remember during 9/11, they all said, and the smoking gun could be a mushroom cloud. And then Condoleezza Rice, and the smoking gun could be a mushroom cloud. I say, do you all memorize this?
Yeah.
Yes, they
and
just
the ballroom.
memorize.
In the ballroom.
They just, right. So anyway, so the best one for me, I couldn't write this. Imagine you're a young lady and you said, I don't have a lot of money, but I'm going to go to this TPUSA, this young women and young women leadership. And I don't have a lot of money, but by God, I'm going to learn something. At first, you got to go through Dana Lash, who's screaming, "Und the widow!"
Whoa.
And the book of Philippians 1. You
Widow.
will not.
Widow.
You will not. Und the widow. I mean, she's screaming this. So these women are probably thinking, I'm not getting a lot out of this. So then this woman came out. I forget what her name is. She says, I'm getting engaged to
Alex Clark.
Yeah.
Is that right? Alex Clark?
Vance or something. He was the Alex Clark. Yeah. But Vance, the fiddle player who, listen, I mean, put it this way. I think the Village people would have said, no, too over the top. You know what I mean? This, you're kidding me. So, and then after this horror show, there she is. There's Erica. Not a clue, always talking about how I'm doing. Now let's go back. Throughout history, Jackie Kennedy caught more grief from marrying Aristotle Onassis. Ethel Kennedy, remember her stories with Andy Williams. And don't forget Claudine Longet. This is before your time. Claudine Longet, the one who killed Spider Savage. Anyway, that group. Coretta Scott King, they gave her grief. Mary Todd Lincoln, who gave us that joke. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, did you enjoy the play? You know, Mary Todd Lincoln just said she's crazy. She's spending too much. Yoko Ono, Courtney Love. Just go down the list of people. Even theoretically, if you think about it, Diddy is a widower because his wife. So all of these women whose wife or whose husbands died, they never advanced the widow off limits thing. Never. I mean, Jackie Kennedy, she caught grief. So where did this come? But they all said it. And they have their one theme. Before that, it was we all grieve differently. If I ran that show, I would have said, here's the deal. You are not going to appear in public. You're going to make one speech. Hi, you're going to take care of Gigi and the other guy. You're going to take care of them, and that's it. Maybe a wave. That's it. You don't have it. And plus, I would tell all of these brain surgeons from TPUSA, you're not going to have the Charlie Kirk show with these two numbnuts sitting around. You're not going to sacrifice. This is blasphemy. And if you are going to speak, you're going to talk about, well, we're going to go open up campus ministries, or we're going to talk about something. We're not going to talk about how great we are and what an awful person Candace is. They derailed it. They took whatever hope there was of salvaging their gravy train, and they destroyed it by going after Candace. And here's the thing, and I don't want to take over your show, damn it, but I'm going to say this. You're the guest, honey. It's all about you. And Doug, do you know anybody on the, I mean, you just go through just plain old show business who is loved like Candace and loved by women. Now, I don't want to sound like a chauvinist here, but a lot of times women are not the best friends to other women. They just don't, you know what I mean? Women love her. She's their friend, their sister, their neighbor. I thought maybe, believe it or not, women loved Dolly Parton years ago. She was giggly, fun, and nice. I don't know who else. I'm trying to think. Not respected. She's loved. Joe Rogan's got a lot of people, but he's not loved. Candace
I heard you gosh, you're a words of affirmation guy. And I love, that's my love language, words of affirmation. And so watching how you pour that over people is just so freaking beautiful. And you did that with Candace. It was just, I hope she just really let herself absorb that, because a lot of times we have a hard time accepting compliments and we push it back. So I hope some of that seeped into her pores.
This is true though. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but I will tell you this, I'm left leaning, and so I'm very much aware, and I didn't listen to Candace before all this. People have heard me say 1,000 times before with the Blake Lively trial, it rolled over on my YouTube. I was sitting on the ground. I lost the remote. I was watching somebody else and it rolled into Candace. And my reaction was, oh, I just don't feel like finding the remote. So I watched it and I thought, whoa, her research and everything is great. But so I am well aware of a population, not just left leaning, but I mean, because you've got people on the right who are like, she's just betrayed us. So I'm very much in tune with a significant population who does not like her at all. Even Sean Ryan in the first 20 minutes of this thing says, you have a lot of enemies. You have a lot of enemies. But what I love is that the people who do love her exactly as you said, that all embracing. And when you have that, what else do you need?
Let me explain.
I have Doug. What else do I need?
I don't know. Doug. Everybody's got there is a
all you need is a Doug.
I have known everybody for this left business. I don't know what that means. Give me the subject and I'll tell you what it is. Give me the subject. We have a guy in New York who's a mayor named Zoran Mamdani. Okay. All right. Uh-huh. He is, depending upon who I am or who I'm with, I'll say this is one of the most important politicians. If you dismiss him, you're a fool. Doesn't mean I agree with him. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right. There's stuff that Trump did where I thought that was smart politically. And then there's some stuff he's doing now that's just stupid. So people would say, hey, I thought you liked him. I said, I didn't sign on to him. I didn't marry him. It's an issue by issue thing. Right. I've got some people, I'm driving crazy. And I said, the birthright Supreme Court case, I said, did you read the decision? No, I said, of course you didn't. Because you think this is the legislature. And you think it's the lefties and Amy Coney Barrett. You didn't read it. The Supreme Court. I've got one for you. And I tell people this. I'm theoretically pro-choice, whatever the hell that means. I've never had to make that decision. I'm pro-choice. But I was for the Supreme Court saying there's no constitutional right to an abortion. Constitution over here, legislation over here. You have no right to a plasma TV, but you can have one. So I'm always pissing people. My left friends say, what? And my right friend, what? Because they're into this box. I got to tell you something. There were some people that I thought what's really the most significant thing that's changing. I don't know if you want to get into this. And I haven't even, this is just pure politics, is what's happening in the Middle East and Israel. It's the biggest thing. I'm telling you. This is almost like people that, give an example. Candace and Anna Kasparian. Anna Kasparian, I thought at one time, I said, this woman is a banshee. She is out of her mind. She's crazy. She's a prototypical, she's like an annoying left, just like the annoying right. I know these prototypical conservatives. I'm a gun-toting, God-fearing. Oh, shut up. No, Barry Goldwater would slap you. But all of a sudden, here's Candace and Kasparian, and they're right on. And all of a sudden say, hey, yeah. Now she had on, before he went a little bit nuts, is Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden made some great stuff about addiction. And unless you've ever known somebody who's been through that, you have no idea what it's about. So they can't separate. Yeah. They can't separate it. It's like all or nothing with these people to say, why can't they make, I told somebody the other night, I said, who would you rather, if you could invite anybody over or interview anybody in history, who would you represent or talk to? And I said, Hitler. Hitler. I'd say, I got to know, what's with you, man? Wouldn't you love to what do you like him? I said, I didn't say I like him. I want to know, this is like Ted Bundy I'd rather talk to than Eleanor Roosevelt. Because I want to know, I find.
Yeah, but you think you'd get an honest answer?
No, but
I guess part of the stipulation would have to be that they have to be truthful and transparent.
I've never sat that close to somebody like that. It's funny for me to say, okay, Eleanor Roosevelt, okay. This is Ted Bundy? I sat with him, I looked in his eyes, and I would say, I think pathology is more interesting. That's why I'm doing your show. I'm kidding. But what I'm saying is, so people
But
went crazy with it. They went nuts with it. So this left-right stuff, I don't know what that means. And if you don't know what to say, just say you're a libertarian, which doesn't mean anything.
What does it mean to you when you say the psychology of information? I heard you use that phrase the other day, that you are, I don't know, a student of or a fan of, or you're into the psychology of information. What's that mean to you?
Everybody, somewhere along the line, something, I can give you a story, but how you process it has to do with the way you think and how you were raised and what you went through.
Yeah.
It's just different. It's the same fact. I could take war, and you could think of Grandpa who, never was the same after World War II, and somebody else who was a war hero, and it defined him. So it's the same fact. It's a classical thing. It's the old intellectual school of psychology. It's Carl Ellis, intellectual school. The cognitive therapy, rational emotive therapy. Anyway, he was big in New York, but he was one of the intellectual schools. Classic example. A set of twins are walking along the beach. Wave comes, knocks them both over. One kid says, that was great, runs back into the water. That's terrific. The other one runs home and says, I almost drowned. One wave, different reaction. It's how you process it. It's the psychology of the information. How do you view it? Where are you from? I know some people who they can't look at anything without looking at race. And I know people who truly have this kind of a Trump derangement syndrome. And I knew people who had Nixon derangement syndrome. And I knew people who had Lyndon Johnson derangement. And I've met these people before. And it defines them. It defines who they are. I asked somebody one time who's a friend of mine here in New York. She was in the No Kings March. I said, what is the No Kings March? She said, I don't know. She thought it had something to do with Trump, and she hates Trump. I said, this was a classic psyop because there was no call. They didn't ask you to do anything. They didn't say throw the bomb out, impeach him. They just wanted you to get together and blow off steam. She took offense at that. Her whole thing is it defines her. So I don't have any of those things that define me one way or another. But it's where you were from, your religion, how you were raised. It's a psychology. It's also the epistemology.
Only through our life experience. That's all we can do is see through our own life experience.
And
we can't separate from that.
How do you know what you know?
I heard somebody, or I read something that says there are no original thoughts.
Of course,
yes. And I was like, really? I mean, unless maybe there's some divine implantation, but really, everything we think has been. I don't know. I'm still taking that in.
Yeah, there's innovation. I think, Einstein, whole twins paradox, that was unique. I don't think anybody thought that one, but relativity people knew about that. They just didn't know how to say it. There's also no such thing as any different music. Like rap music has been around for years, but nobody knew what to call it. Since Cab Calloway, since Hank Snow, they didn't know what to call it. But of course, Debbie Harry was probably one of the first rap songs ever, but they didn't know it had a name. The moonwalk. You know how many people did the moonwalk? Everybody did it. They didn't know what it was called.
The dancer in The Little Prince. Oh, he was such an inspiration, like for Michael Jackson, who took Fosse.
Bob Fosse?
Yeah, was he the dancer? A black man that was in The Little Prince dancer. Someone want to look that up?
You got me.
The movie The Little Prince. No. Doug. I don't even know he may have left the building. I don't know.
He's had enough of this. All of this referencing.
Doug, you want to look that up?
No, but
I don't know what he's doing. I thought he was going to be in here.
But there are people who've, everybody loves that. I know more
Bob
women in
Fosse.
particular
Thank
who
you.
changed. Well, he's all that jazz. And anyway, I know more women in particular who just went nuts over the Little Prince. That was the defining moment. And I said, okay, I read it. I said, it's okay. I never got it, But I know people who it was like life changing for them, and that's okay. Just like people, do you ever meet somebody who swears they read Ayn Rand? Ayn Rand was a psychopath. Talk about
Oh,
somebody who was.
Anne Rand. Yeah. Yeah. I remember in grade school or whatever, like we had to watch The Prince. Like,
Mhm.
hey kids, you need to watch this movie. And I remember not getting it at all. Like just now it'd be interesting to watch again now, but I was like, what, this is boring. The kid's kind of weird. Like what, um, I couldn't even tell you what it was about right now. Like I don't know what it was, but it clearly, I remember it because I just remember how weird it was.
Okay, here
I
we
just
go.
remember the barren
You're
land and the tree and
You're probably thinking about the viral dance moments in the 1974 adaptation of The Little Prince, where legendary white choreographer Bob Fosse plays a hypnotic slithering snake. In modern
yes.
stage adaptations, the role has been brilliantly interpreted by black dancers like Stanley Glover. So there you go with that. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
when you watch it, a lot of Michael Jackson's moves.
Oh yes, but here is this thing going back. The people who claim who they understand Ayn Rand, they didn't read it, they didn't understand it. They wanted to say they did. The people who used to walk around with copies of The Economist, the people who swore that they. It's like you're a poser. You want me to believe this. By the way, Alan Greenspan might have been Ayn Rand, who was apparently quite the
sex pot.
Well, could be. You know who else was? You know who was wild? Golda Meir. Now you've got to be. I don't know if you want to even admit to that one, but the people you never know. She was. They were the.
Can I admit I don't know who that is?
Golda Meir from the Prime Minister of Israel. This is the. She looks like a babushka, not a babushka, like your grandmother. Check her out. She was from Milwaukee. I mean, but she was a prime minister and makes Bibi Netanyahu look like Mr. Rogers. This woman, see, nowhere Margaret Thatcher, Jean Kirkpatrick, Golda Meir, Indira Gandhi, Benazir Bhutto, just these were hardcore. I mean, and what do we have in this country? Nothing. Who's Hillary? I think, who, by the way, nobody likes Hillary. I think Hillary, had she just got her head together, she could have been great, because I don't think she believes half of what she says. But that's a tough broad. She's smart. But these women were really tough. One of the greatest snipers of World War II was a Russian sniper. This woman, Ludmila, whatever, who hit like 300. She was a killer. Just so.
Wow. There was this clip going around of Hillary recently, and have my concerns. All that aside, in this interview, she's talking about the constant barrage of Bibi calling her and just we need you to do that, you need to do this, and then she would have the president of Iran on the phone, and she said at one point they're both saying, we have our jets on the tarmac ready to go, and she was basically said, knock yourself out, knock yourself out.
Bill said, good luck, have a nice day.
Have a blast.
I would love to talk to her, because this is the woman who, much like, believe it or not, Michelle Obama catches more grief than anybody. It's unfair. It is vicious. I mean, this whole thing about, forget Brigitte Macron. That's nothing compared to this. I mean, this is just, it goes to show you the pile-on. There's this momentum where they hate her and they make every joke about her. It's like, do you really need? And I asked people, I said, do you really believe Michelle is a man? I said, I don't. I mean, she may be, and they do clavic. It goes to show you the momentum of the internet. It's mean. It takes on this tsunami. Like they did it with Trump. They did it with everybody else. They did it with They do it with a lot of people. Once you get a part of a meme, once you're there, you can forget it. It's just done. And I can't believe how it inspires this pathological, again, this meanness. It's really, it's dangerous.
Where do you think the reaction, or are you, when Trump leaves us? Like, because a lot of people, obviously there's going to be a lot of celebration from a certain segment. And then you're going to have a lot of people that are like, I can't believe you're, celebrating this, who would be the same people celebrating, or who were celebrating when they found out that Biden had cancer, or when, whoever died. Right. And so, I mean, because it could be any day now. It really could be any day.
It's going to be the most boring. There are people who are going to say, especially in the press corps, remember those days? Remember when he would say these things? Yes. God, I miss that guy. Remember the pond, the algae? Oh yeah. Remember when he wanted to put his picture on the passport? God, I miss that guy.
I just warn people, like, don't put hope in that. It doesn't mean anything's going to change. Doesn't mean anything, other than the persona not being in our faces.
I think you're not going to see.
I don't know what's going to change.
I think Bibi is going to have a harder time. I think this country is absolutely one of the things which is the most interesting. I was trying to tell somebody the other day. There are cases around the country. One in particular, Congresswoman from Denver, who was, I mean, this was a not hardcore. She was a legitimate card-carrying, a lib progressive. She voted against the Iraq War. This is how long she's been there. And this younger woman came along with a Middle Eastern name or something, who said, "What are you going to do about the genocide?" She says, "Look, if that's your problem, then just vote for somebody else." And this woman was so arrogant. This younger woman, they drubbed her. Cleaned her clock. It's just happening all over the place. Zoran Mamdani here in New York, he had three that he picked. And they said, there's no way these people are so socialist. And what I'm telling people is that listen to what young people are saying. They like the energy. Yeah. Socialism doesn't scare. You're not listening to them. They think it's kind of cool or whatever. They like this guy with a nice smile and he wants to do things. And the hardcore, kind of the Wall Street guys that I know, I said, you're living in the world of Barry Goldwater and Reagan and Rush Limbaugh. That's over. This is a different world. You better understand what these people are talking about. I'm not saying I agree with it. Where'd you go? Oh, wait.
Right here. Look at my baby.
Why were they raised to do? I always look at a dog and say, ooh, that must have been raised or bred to ferret out rats. Ooh, that must have been for speed. What were they thinking when they made this?
Little teddy bears, my little emotional support animals. My little emotional support animals.
We have this.
I love them so much.
We have this sign at this gym I love where we go, and it says, your dog, no matter how much love it gives you, no matter how it pacifies you, is not allowed. It's not a therapy dog. No matter how much you think you need it, it's not allowed. I despise dogs in stores. I despise them where there's food. I'm sorry. Dogs
restaurants.
Are great. Yeah. No. And I also think
we're not one of those.
Tell me you don't drive your dog around in one of those little strollers.
No, strollers.
That is demented.
No, nothing like that. Let me ask you this. Nothing like that at all.
This is called a shoot me list, not a bucket list. If you ever see me do this, for example, do you ever see me wear sandals or socks or talking to myself? I mean, really talking. Not just, I mean, really talking like on a bus farm. Don't you just do me a favor, one behind the ear. It's okay. I swear to you, it's okay. Don't worry about it. When do you realize that's it for me? Don't ever let me do.
I'm not one of these people that calls like their dogs, like their children. You know, there are people that refer to their dogs like their kids. And,
What about the
you
opposite? They
know,
refer to their children as dogs.
his
That would be
dogs.
frightening.
When Erica Kirk would say babies, you know, my
I know.
babies,
I
it's
know.
just like, and I realized it's because I always go like my puppies, like my puppies. And so it's like she's referring to a dog or something. Like the puppy.
Sometimes there are people who
Oh,
look at their
just a
kids
snuggle.
as chattel. And my parents never did that. We were always the kids, but it didn't define them, and we didn't. I mean, it's weird how some people, especially on Facebook, who take a picture of their kids, which you should never have on Facebook. I'm sorry, your
Oh,
kid. It just drives me nuts. And what Candace does is she'll have a picture of her children, but kind of obscured or.
the
And by the way, I asked
faces.
him a
Yeah.
question. You know the guy I really want to talk to more than anybody else? Her husband George. Did this guy know what the hell he was getting
Yeah.
involved in? Does he think it's like, what the
Yeah.
hell is this? Is that your? I mean, he's he probably he's very very British gentlemanly. He probably
Yeah.
imagine living in the manor, fox hunting, and he's married to this firebrand who just. I mean, he's because the man
Yeah.
behind, like Maggie Thatcher's husband, nobody knows his name, or
Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton's husband.
Well,
There are
that's
pictures of Dolly Parton out partying in Hollywood with John Belushi. Like Dolly Parton would go to all the wild parties and everything, and her husband was just
I don't want
sitting
to
back
say
and
I don't want to say he was not beard like, but it was more like performative. Like, yeah, you're the okay, whatever. He's like, yeah. There's another one too. There are other folks who were theoretically the husband. I don't know. Listen. If something works, it works. But
well, people
the bottom-
speculate that about Charlie and Erica for sure. But if it works, it works.
All I know
were
is
saying.
this guy said he was a virgin. It's like, okay, first of all, it's like, Charlie, don't, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm from a
Yeah.
different country. Don't tell people that. It's just not good.
Yeah.
But anyway, he did. And he said, and that's why when I'm a virgin, right, honey? And he looked at the driver, he said, so the FIFA Cup is like, she would always change the subject, and she never really answered the question because you knew she was not. She was the belle of the ball.
Oh, no.
The man, come on.
Yeah.
So
And I don't have a problem with that. Like, do your thing.
I don't either.
I don't have a problem with that. But just don't get up there and pontificate to young women.
Well,
Like, if you want a Charlie, you need to be a woman who will attract a Charlie.
Yeah.
Instead of, God's graced me with a Charlie, I, had these challenges, and even that language, I don't think we need to apologize for our decisions, but to
I
get
think
to a
this
place where you're
guy-
like, what's best for me is this.
I think this guy probably thought, I think he was a virgin. And I think she said, I'm going to show you some things.
Oh, she
Wait till I
played
show
him.
you I'm going to show you a Cleveland necktie, and you ain't going to believe it.
Mhm.
I'm going to get you in a Wahito hold. I'm going to hog tie you, be like Larry Mahan out of Shoot Number 7. I'll give you a headboard coma. This guy didn't know what hit him. He said, whoa. And that's
Yeah.
why the idea where he was on they're on their honeymoon, and he said, and I was at the gym on the treadmill. And Charlie, I said, honey, we're supposed to leave our phones. But he was doing that Hillsdale class on
Yeah, his online class.
St. Augustine. Is like, what? He's probably thinking, we're not even at the gym. He's like, I'm on a honeymoon and I'm doing no. He probably said, what the hell have I been waiting for? Come on, girl. She probably needed a walker after that. So this idea of him is like, she just made that up. She just made this story up because she was getting this award. By the way, go back and watch Pat Sajak like this. Pat Sajak looked like his goldfish died. He was like this. And she was talking. He looked like, I thought like you normally would think the Wi-Fi froze or something.
Her stories are always like, he was he was going on Air Force One, and I was running behind him saying, "You go," and you go. Sure, I'll close out the conference. It's always like I was this supportive wife, even though he had all these amazing opportunities, and even though we were on our honeymoon, and he was neglecting me because he was doing this. It's like this martyr. The always supportive wife. It's very passive aggressive in some ways.
How about when Tucker, by the way, keep an eye on Tucker, because that guy is good. He is redefining everything.
It's interesting.
But when Tucker said, when Tucker said something to the effect of, when I realized this Erica was pretty good because she felt more strongly against the Zion. I hate the word when people say Zionist. I don't think they really know what they're talking about, but that's me. Anyway, some do, some don't. But he said, "Boy, this woman," and she did like a 180. Yeah. And I thought, even that, you don't. So everybody has their story, but the bottom line is simply this: as I prepare for my show coming up, this has brought more people not only to YouTube, but to the Art of Conversation. This is a true crime, a whodunit. It's Dynasty and Falcon Crest. It's weird personalities. It's God. It's war. It's politics.
It's everything. Yeah.
And one of who would be the actress to play Erica? I don't mean somebody who looks like her necessarily, but somebody who can play her. I think Carol Kane. I'm trying to think who could.
There are times with her eyes where it reminds me of Nicole Kidman. Yeah. There are times, and Nicole Kidman can't not work. She's in every freaking show all the time. Yeah. But there are times with her eyes, and I love Nicole. She's a sweetheart. But there are times she does this thing with her eyes, and it reminds me. If you guys, seriously, Nicole Kidman, put it in your head. Totally different souls, totally different personas, totally different everything. But there are times with her looks, and I think it's the eyebrows too. And Nicole can do that shifty eye thing. I don't know. I don't know who would play her.
I think she is. Oops. I think my what I would love to do is I'm also a frustrated psychoanalyst. I would love to, as they say, get Erica on the couch and say, I want you to tell me about the first time you were aware of yourself. Tell me about how you view yourself. Something along the way, either Laurie Franz, her mother, or somebody, but something happened. Even when she made stories about, my mother was a single mother. No, she was a working mother. I never saw my father. Well, I did see my father. She just, it's like she's writing lyrics to a song, but the song is her history. She's writing, it's like, let's see. It's like Angie Baby or Ode to Billy Joe. She's just writing this thing out, and she goes, that would be a nice twist. Single mom?
Yeah.
What do you think? Single mom? Good. Go with a single mom. But she was a single mom. Who cares? It's the story. It's like professional wrestling. It's the angle. It's the work. Don't worry about whether it's true or not. What is it? What is interesting, not to the audience, but to me?
Yeah.
Because that's why she's not a psychopath. Yeah. She's not trying to fool you. She couldn't care less. She's not trying to get one over on you. She's doing it for herself. She's unable sometimes, I think, to tell the difference between what she says happened and what really did happen. She's not a psychopath.
I was going to ask you that, if you thought whether she's trying to talk herself into something, if she's, What gets me in, which I think is a telltale, is the news media, all her promotion picture. You see one picture everywhere. One picture. Lionel, it's from 2012. It is from 2012. And we know, for a list of reasons I won't go into right now, we know she hid out when she was pregnant because she was fat. She got really fat. And that's great. I got fat, but I didn't hide out. but all she talks about is the food on Megyn Kelly. She talked about that she was going to weigh more than Charlie. I saw her speak, not, a few months after she gave birth. I mean, she was huge. And she said, the world Charlie and I live in can be toxic at times. And to me, I took that to mean like the people she worked with. And no, she was talking about the whole world. So sometimes she inadvertently communicates what she's not trying to communicate because of her word choices and her phrasing. And that's why I'm like, she's just stupid. She's stupid.
You've got to know, like if you sat with two buttons, real Erica, phony Erica, and you at the end added them up, you would see this, because you can tell when sometimes, remember Pulp Fiction when who was it? Not Buscemi, but the British actor. He was learning his not Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, and he said, "So I'm walking down the street, and I'm this, and I'm cool," and he's learning his lines. He was trying to be. He's undercover. This is my story. And I can't ever lose it. I got to remember what my story was, what my storyline, where am I from? What did I do? Where did I go to prison? It's like she never bothered with that. One of my favorites, little things crack me up because I love this it's almost like a Rashomon, like a Kurosawa movie, but kind of not in reverse, but the way it would have looked. For example, you're walking down the street. It's the old, who's a Lana Turner, a Schwab's, or somebody says, "Hey, can I talk to you for a moment?" "Yeah. Listen, you got to help your state. How's that? We need you to run for Miss Teen Junior, whatever, Miss Teen Arizona." Mom, I was a tomboy. I was into basketball, pigtails. I had a large mole. She's the ugly duckling. The reluctant beauty. I'm not. And believe it or not, I guess they thought maybe I was attractive. I don't know. I say, oh, please. First of all, nobody. And then you go back. Do you know what it's like? Have you ever met somebody who's been in a pageant world? This is like gymnasts don't go through as much training from the time you've really got to train for this. You get sponsors and you got to do this.
Right.
So she was walking on the street in her overalls and her chopped hair and looking like, I don't know what, like a Ruth Buzzy. And all of a sudden somebody said, "Wait a minute, you do it for your," and I was so glad to represent my state. And oh, come on.
I was in a pageant once, a local pageant in Evansville, Indiana, and we had to wear swimsuits. And they said, wear a solid.
What was the name of it? What was the name of it?
It was like a boat. It was like for a boat show or something. Okay. Could you please, whoever's making the noise, will you please take that dog out? There's a dog that's kind of like.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, well, you will in just a second, I think. So it was like Miss Ohio River or something, like for boats. Thunder on the Ohio. They had those boat
there you go
things on. And so they wanted us to wear solid color swimsuits, which I didn't have. I went out, swimsuit shopping. And the one that I loved was not solid color. As a matter of fact, it was like geometric, all these different colors. And that's what I wore. Like, that's what I wore.
Rules be damned.
It just didn't, it didn't work for me. But I just didn't care that much about it. I don't.
See, I love the stories. No, go, please continue.
Oh, my dad, one of the coolest things that, he passed away in 2018 was he came and he watched it, as a matter of fact. Can you hear that?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Is that Doug?
No, yeah, that's Doug.
Okay. We have another one?
Two of the little ones are brothers. This is, we have three because my daughter, we inherited one from my daughter. This one is 13. And actually, speaking of my father, when he died in 2018, and I was like comatose for a few months because it was totally unexpected, Bubby would just curl up on my pillow up by my head and just
sensing something.
So even if I get a little teary or whatever now, she'll she'll come and give me snuggles. So, but my father leaving the pageant, he goes, you never know what they're looking for. You never know what they're looking for. And little did he know that few decades later, I would be in Hollywood, doing what I'm doing in addition to this. But it's good to have that voice that says, you never know what they're looking for.
Well, that's why a good parent says, does this mean something to you? Yeah. Then it means something to me. And that's it. And whatever it is, even though I think it's stupid. But anyway, when I first came to WABC years ago, in 1993, they didn't know me from Adam. They said, who in the hell is this guy? He doesn't have a radio voice. He sounds like, my favorite is Curly Howard on Benzedrine, Joe Pesci on helium. Who is this guy? They didn't know. So it was at the time of the Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding.
Oh, yeah.
So I came out and I said, let me tell you something. So that Tanya Harding, this girl, she had to make her own costumes. This Nancy Kerrigan had to, you know what? And so what? So she kneecapped her. So she got this Jeff Galooly or whatever his name is to kneecap her. You know what? She's scrappy. And that's a competitor. And that's the woman I want on my team. Anyway, so I said, she's scrappy. So these people called up and they said, you're out of your mind. I said, let me tell you something. Do you think that General Patton was General Patton because he followed the rules? And he said, what does General Patton have? And I kind of was like, I went off into this bizarre thing and I kind of believed it in a weird way. So I said, this woman. And I said, play that back. So this woman, she says, oh my, when she was kneecapping, Nancy Kerrigan, you remember, she said, why
very well.
me? Why? He goes, did you hear that? Why her? She wanted you to be crippled, not her, because she's too good for that. And so I came up with this, and people called him and said, what are you saying? Anyway, I got into this demented, which kind of makes me side with Erica. One time, I was sitting there saying, if I ever got the chance to meet this Nancy Kerrigan, it's kind of like the way sometimes people are with Erica. Let me tell you something. Who does she think? And all of a sudden, I looked in the control room of the radio, and people are all looking at me and smiling like a Cheshire cat. I say, what's going on here? What have I got? I spilled something, and they were doing like this. Now, there was a green room that you could look into. Guess who's in the green room? Nancy Kerrigan. They ran out to try to catch her. Ran out. It would have been my moment. And she went to the FM station. I never got a chance. Jennifer Flowers, why I'm telling you this, I have no idea. I just think it's funny. Jennifer Flowers, one time, we were at 2 Penn Plaza, which is where Madison Square Garden is. That's where Rush Limbaugh was, WABC famous. Across the street was a Hotel Pennsylvania, the famous Glenn Miller. And Jennifer Flowers, who had the affair with Bill Clinton, she was coming out and trying to rekindle her career or something. So as I understand, she was going to come out and appear before all these people. But before she did that, I was going to interview her on my show, on the radio show. So she's on the phone. So she says, hi. You know what I'm saying? I said, so this is the way it was. Well. The Chanteuse wannabe. You figure if you can't make it yourself, you'll bring down one of the greatest presidents. How dare you? You make me sick. And she went, now part of this was kind of like performative, you know? Yeah. But once you're in it, you can't get out of it. So anyway, but here's the story. As I'm done, I walked out and they said, look, she's on TV. Right after me, nobody knew this, she walks out to meet the world, and she had a look on her face. So the moral of the story is women, and I've said it before, are fascinating. No man would give you that. Nobody. They might get mad. There is no Erica. There's no male version of Erica. There's no male version of Tanya Harding or Erica or Jennifer Flowers. there's depth. Did you ever watch Dallas or Dynasty or Falcon Crest?
Yeah.
Those characters, the depth, the male character. These women are just, God, there's so much. It's phenomenal. And the way other women can read right through them. They're the best. And there's no way around it. So, and I mean, who? You think put Sean Ryan next, with all due respect to Sean, next to Candace or you, doesn't have a chance. Dude,
well, honey, or you, I want to be so sensitive to your time because you've graciously stayed over. And you talk about being one of a kind and this persona. Nobody does what you do. Nobody does what you do.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
You're one of these that like you can just turn on and like do whatever it is you're doing and just listening to your voice fill the space. There's just something that it's comforting but entertaining
and alarming
and amusing and it's just you. Nobody does what you do.
Well, I thank you for that, but like your dad said, sometimes they get it and sometimes they don't. And when the people get it, they're the best. The ones who really get it. But the ones who don't, most of them don't get it. They don't understand it. And also, let me explain something. I love the, not that you need it, but when I saw you, I said, that's it. That's it. Nobody does what she does. Nobody. I don't know when you do this thing where you hold. First, I didn't know what it was. I was like, "What is this? A hairy?" I didn't know what it was. A microphone. It's like a Chaplin.
Oh,
it's
the
like a
fuzzy little.
Yeah. But you looked at it, and it became kind of like this is Erica. You. So, and the editing was great. The look, the double take, the editing, and then to say something back to you, no expression, like you can't explain that. You can't tell somebody, okay, I want you to give me a cut. When you come back with me, I'm going to be staring at it. Just trust me. There's something called the thematic apperception test, the TAT. And it's a psychological, it's like a Rorschach. And you show people something. And one picture may be a guy who's standing in front of a person with a desk and he's looking down. And most people would say, well, in this picture, the guy there is obviously he did something wrong with his boss. And another person will say, well, the guy who's looking down, he just killed the family, the wife of the. I say, where did you get that from? So I look, and professional wrestling, I got from the same thing. What are you trying to convey? I'm not going to get you saying Erica Kirk is, full of it or she's a lie. No. It's like you have this unbridled, this contempt, and you're like keeping it down. Like you just want to scream like, and the more you whisper, it's frightening. It's like, this is the voice you say, I know what you did last summer. Look upstairs. You'll never see your dog again. It's the lower voice. I don't do that. I'm always, but who else does that? Who?
I don't know. It's just me trying to work out my own crap.
Who does the editing?
I don't know. Like I'm sure you're the same. Like you're just doing your thing, but to process all this stuff.
No, but you've got
to process all this stuff.
Yeah, but you're looking at something because you're I'm not, because I'm lazy. I just do me, and I put a couple of spots here and there. But that because I have my technical. I just sometimes I put up something, but you'll watch something, and I know you must be thinking, okay, that's a good one because I'm gonna. Okay, good. Get that. Doug, mark that one. That's it. You see there? This is where I'm going to go like this. Because you don't have to say anything. Mm-hmm. You don't have to say.
It all clicks in my head. I'll see one clip, and I've watched all these interviews like several times. And so she'll say one thing, and I'm like, yeah, and it all just just falls together.
And you can't. See, I could do it too, but I could take 5 minutes explaining it. You may have like 5 seconds. So you deliberately don't want to spend a lot of time. It's the cut that makes it interesting, but your reaction as you hold this thing, It's like you know, you
That's
just
so
want to say,
funny. I didn't think so much about holding the thing. My first several videos, I didn't have any mic at all. I didn't, and then it was like a $10 little Amazon one that didn't work so great if I clipped it. And yeah. Yeah. Hey, you guys,
it's
take a second. If you're not subscribed to Lionel at LionelNation, please do that. If
yeah,
you're
put
not
in a
subscribed
link.
here, please do that. A
And
link.
by the way, you got to run, but quickly tell people this. Make
Yeah.
sure you go back and that make sure you are still subscribed, because for some
Yeah.
reason it's you get unsubscribed. Also hit
Yeah.
that little bell, stay notified of live streams and new videos, and also like it. I know people say, I know, like it. No, this puts you in the HOV lane. That like is engagement.
Yeah. It
And
helps
also
us a
I
lot.
always put questions in. I always put 5 questions in the end of mine because people can talk, because YouTube sees that and it
Oh,
loves
the
to see that.
interaction.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's all kinds of little, and
Yeah.
let's collaborate. By the way, we're talking to all
Yes.
the
We'll
business
send,
here. Collaboration is good. I'll send you and Doug a link on how to do
okay.
that. But anyway, but
Okay.
this is great. I'm honored that you invited me. I remember when I first saw
Oh,
you, I thought
please.
this, and anything we can do, this sounds crazy, to kind of help each other, because people were nice to me. Candace was nice to me. Other people were nice to me. And I've talked to a lot of people, seriously, who it's like, really? Because some people, how many numbers, how many? It's like, but that's,
Those shout
sometimes you
outs
don't.
are everything. I'm going to try clicking on
Absolutely.
that one again. That Doug. I'm going to try clicking on this one again.
She's been just
See if it works this
cheer.
time.
I mean, just when I thought I'd say, okay, everything's been said about Erica. Oh no. Oh, not even close. I'm sorry. I'm throwing a lot of stuff. My head's going crazy today. I'm seeing something right now. I am watching this. I think it's a frozen. It might be some Wi-Fi stuff.
It's
That's okay.
freezing again. All
That's
right,
okay.
just forget.
Don't worry.
Just forget it. But
By
it
the way,
was the most enthusiastic love,
good.
it just touched my heart. It really
But it's
did. So
talent
thank
and you've
you for
got
that.
it. And that's the way. And I thank you. And listen, so I'm going to do my thing at 7. Listen, you let me know what I can do. Keep doing it. And also, you mentioned something, and it was so funny. And I can't believe it's the last thing I'm saying. You said the other day, there was a topic that came up that I guess I had to talk about. I realized I feel so blah. It's like I don't really care, but it's like it's the hits. I got to play the hits. Like, well, they had an MK Ultra hearing on. Yeah, that used to be my bailiwick. They used to be my thing. Now I just don't care anymore. This is
Yeah.
more important. This is it, because it's exciting. It's just
I'll do videos like on other things now and then, and I get depressed, and I just like seriously, the last couple of things I did just tied into other things that just it's not good for my mental
not
health.
good.
Ironically, Turning Point, Erica Kirk, it's good for my mental health.
Yes.
All right, Lana, I'm gonna stay on, but I'm gonna let you
Bless
go.
Thank you.
And you're awesome. I
Thank
appreciate
you
you
much.
so much.
My best to you.
All right.
And my best to Doug. Doug, the man behind the genius. Anyway, have a great night. Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
Ta-ta.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. Just you and me, kids. Not for long. But this eye infection thing, it's got to be some makeup I'm using or something, but it's starting to kick up again. And there were times like in the last 3 months, maybe a total of 2.5 weeks, where I've been taken out, just can't get on here and do my thing. I finally just got out my readers that had the tint on them, because I'm like, I gotta get on here, and I miss you guys when I'm not on here. So thank you for the love. I'm going to scan comments really quick, and thank you for your support of our little gift company. Think Happy Stuff. My handwriting, a little flower doodle my mom taught me from her mom. And we started this back in Nashville in 2006. We have hats that are actually on their way. So they're not on the website right now, but sweatshirts, we actually have, for the first time, we've done like half off on some things. Some things that we're not going to bring in anymore. And I have a few of the tie-dye ones, like Doug and I'm like, Doug, this will be great. We took these pink ones and we tied up the ends with rubber bands, and he's like, this isn't doing it for me. but he pressed through. And we maybe have like 6 of those left that are the tie-dye looking with the full color logo on it. I lived in Nashville, Tennessee for 20 years. Doug and I did. We lived in England for 6 years, had 3 of our children there, came back pregnant with our 4th. When we got married in Louisville, Kentucky, we met at Western Kentucky University. Then I worked with high school kids out in San Diego. The high school kid thing is a big part of like why I, the whole turning point thing. One of the reasons that it got my attention. And he was finishing up school. I'm like 3 years older than Doug. He was finishing up school at Western Kentucky University. We got married in Louisville, Kentucky, where he is from. And then we moved to Nashville because I wanted to be a Christian singer-songwriter, which I was for a little while. And then we moved to Franklin, Tennessee, where we were for a few years, where I started a youth ministry for 5th and 6th graders, kind of took the high school youth group format, formatted it to more of a 5th and 6th grade level program. And then we moved to England for about 6 years to work with Muslim, Hindu, Sikh communities, setting up youth centers there. And then we moved back to Franklin, pregnant with our 4th. Soon thereafter, adopted 4 more. We adopted different races because we missed the diversity of London. We moved back to an area of Franklin, Tennessee, all white people, church, all white. The first neighborhood that we moved into, my best friend picked out the house for us. We had bought our home in London, and this is when things were kind of affordable and you could do that. And she picked out a house. I hadn't even seen it. And it was great. It was a great neighborhood, but very kind of Leave It to Beaver. And we had been in this urban environment. So I don't think, maybe we were there 2 years and then moved to a part of Franklin, Tennessee, where I don't want to say affordable. It was like the project, so to speak, was behind us, and the schools had more diversity and economic diversity. And that was a long answer to you. From Nashville? Not originally. I'm from Maryland originally, lived there till I was 6. Christine, just like replacing a toothbrush every few months, we must replace mascara. I do, Mom. I do. So I don't know what that is. I hate to brush my teeth, by the way. I hate to brush my teeth. I discovered that during COVID, that if I don't need to leave the house for some reason, I have no interest whatsoever in brushing my teeth. My dentist is still like, oh, your teeth look great. I see you're flossing. And I'm like, no, not till the 5th dentist agrees. Where is there more diversity in Franklin? We lived off Everbright in downtown Franklin, off Columbia Avenue, 5 Points. So you go up Columbia, before you get to the Target, there's Everbright Street. You can look it up, 308 Everbright Avenue. However, they have knocked all those houses down, knocked our house down. I can't even think about it. Oh, there was so many creative, incredible projects that we did. anyway, I mean, our kids' handprints were in the, I mean, I can't, like I said, I can't talk about it. And knocked it down, and it's all those McMansions now. So you can look it up, 308 Everbright Avenue. We bought our house for $140,000 back in 2001, 2002, and it sold, not by us, for like $1.2 million. Nashville's insane. You may call me Chris Kim Kroll. Kroll, yes, you can. Nashville area is really into what? Nashville area is really into infill. I don't know what that means. Sharon, you love brushing your teeth. Feels so good. Okay. It's a trick if you're on a diet. I heard that. No fluoride, people. No fluoride. No fluoride. It's not good for you. Not good for you. I was actually going to go see a doctor because it feels like my nose isn't, it doesn't feel like I'm a mouth breather. I'm a mouth breather. Whenever people use that as an insult, I'm like, okay, but I'm totally a mouth breather. And I think because part of my nose is clogged up. So I was going to make an appointment with my doctor, and I just saw that he is retiring. And I hate to start over with a new doctor. And what did that have to do with anything? There was a segue in my head where that made sense. Where they tear down the old and yeah, charming. Yeah, they did. They knocked it all down. So 2.5 years. What's 2.5 years, Doug? Doug, do you want to put the link to, wouldn't you guys like at least Doug on a microphone? Wouldn't that be good? He doesn't have to be in here. I didn't know you weren't going to be in here today, honey. I didn't know that. Can you hear me? But what was 2.5 years? Oh, we lived in the first house 2.5 years? Doug is in. Thank you. I did the painting behind me.
You're 2.5 years older and you're not 3.
I'm 2.5 years older. There was some 2.5 years. That was kind of a mystery. Like, show me your tattoo for a second. Just put your tattoo in here in front of the camera. Can you see? Okay. You see his tattoo here? So one is for each of the kids. Is that, how many kids are there?
It's missing.
Oh, it's missing one because of the when it happened before.
Gone.
One was already gone. Okay. You see right here, that used to be my name. It used to say, it's hard to point in the right direction. It used to say Christine there. And then we divorced. How long was it after our divorce that you covered over it? It was still a little while, wasn't it? Yeah. And then
Wait for the pizza guy.
What?
You had to wait for the pizza guy.
You had to wait for the pizza guy.
The pizza guy is the one that tattooed it over it.
The pizza guy tattooed it.
One of Maxine's friends, who was a pizza guy, sat in our kitchen.
Can you hear, Doug?
Tattooed over it.
One of our daughter's friends. Was I there?
Yeah, you were aware.
Did you do it at our house? Like we were divorced, but you did it at our house.
Yes.
Well, that's so wild. Doug and I had the most amicable divorce ever. It was absurd. And like Doug would be over and our kids' friends would be like, I thought your parents were divorced. And they're like, they are.
It's some name like Flamingo or Rio.
Rio.
Yeah.
Rio. So our eldest birth daughter had a friend who delivered pizzas, and somehow we figured out he knew our daughter and whatever, and he did tattoo stuff. And apparently I was there when he, whatever. Life is weird. Okay. Interesting show. Not a great show. It's your Christine, and you let your guests take over. I love Lionel. So sometimes I just like to hear other people talk. I'm saddened to have seen this. You are a strong, vibrant woman, but you stood back. You know what? Also, I'm exhausted. I was up all night. When did I come to bed this morning? Like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I got maybe like 3 hours of sleep. So very tired. I am a strong, vibrant woman, but I am also freaking exhausted right now. And haven't connected with Lionel in a while. And sometimes it's just fun to let people go. Um, maybe Doug could have muted him. We don't want to give Doug muting power. It will go to his head and he'll start following me around with it. Mute, mute. What was that? There was an Adam Sandler movie where there was a magic remote and it was called Click. Okay. All right, you guys. Please check out thinkhappystuff.com. People were asking about the lipstick. It is out of production, but I found a few and they're on the website. It's Gwen Stefani's brand. She shut down her makeup company. She's got great makeup and it's definitely not what's hurting my eyes. I think it's a cream. I think it's a foundation. I think it's a new foundation that I was trying. So, because I held off putting on my eye makeup, but I had my foundation and it was already kind of acting a little weird. But Gwen Stefani's lipstick line, it's great stuff. And it is on the website, thinkhappystuff.com, which Doug just put up there. It looks like I put it up there, but I didn't. All right, you guys. My art actually does very well. This is the first time, since I've been doing this, I thought, it'll be good to keep my art behind me. But somebody you might be here bought a piece that went to Canada. I have pieces all over the world. So, but I go through phases. Forgive me if you've already heard me say this, but art for me, it's like a pregnancy. That seed is there. And, I might go 9 months without painting anything or longer, but then it's like, okay, this baby's coming and I got to paint. But back in the day, I did these trees, these abstract trees, and somebody just reached out and asked if I would do one for a friend of theirs. So I'm going to be doing that today. I should probably do it today. All right, you guys. Thinkhappystuff.com. It keeps us going. You keep us going. And any final words, Doug, for our friends here? His eyes are like darting, like he's trying to come up with something.
Keep reaching for the stars.
Keep reaching for the stars. Name that quote. Who said that? Was that Casey Kasem? We are so dated, by the way. But Lionel took it back a bit far. Lionel went full boomer. Lionel went full boomer. I tend to keep it in the Gen X zone. I will, Willow Sage. I will show you the painting I do. I'll probably do a few of them. Okay. I still have to, I have my opener, which is this, hello, friends. That's pretty much what I do. But I don't have a closer. I got nothing. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here. If I didn't lose you already. Shannon Lee, thank you for stopping in. And it'll be on the tube. It'll be there. So thank you guys. I really appreciate you being here. I'm going to say bye now. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Are you going to hang up? Doug's going to hang up. Bye, guys.